Hello, my name is Julian Croce Galis, and I'm a first-year LDL student. For my POL, I decided to voice over the process I went through of making a song, where I ended up creating a short 15-second draft of something similar to my final project. At the beginning of the year, I picked life design because it was a new required course for STEM, with my grade being the first year it became required. I thought it was just going to be another regular class, but after the first week, I was reassured that this wasn't going to be the case. Instead, it was the opposite, where we can pick and choose our projects based on what we wanted to do. My whole life, I've been the kind of person that only really works if I'm told directly what to do. So I saw this as a period where I can pick the easy way out and end up just fine. I usually breezed by my other classes, and I believe this was going to be the same kind of deal. I ended up picking a simple gym project where I was going to record my progress and track my diet to get ready for hockey season. But I never really picked up on this project, mainly because I didn't like it. I never tracked any progress whenever I went, and I didn't diet at all either, but no one was there to tell me that I had to work on it. At feedback night, I presented my goals for what I was planning to do and some of the steps I told others I would take to do it, but it was mainly just empty promises that I was throwing out. I spent my time in class watching movies or playing games, never really working on my project. I didn't really care about jotting anything down. As long as I was going, I was happy. I didn't really feel bad about not doing it. I would just make up some excuse whenever I conferenced or make up things whenever I had to. As more and more days kept going, I was getting really bored. The movies weren't hitting and all the websites were getting blocked. I wanted to do something, but I kept finding myself in limbo, where I was waiting for someone or something to give me a wake-up call and get me going. As the year went on, I thought more and more about the end-of-year results I was supposed to show with my project, and realized that I wasn't going to get anything done. I began searching for a new project around the week before winter break, and it took a while to figure out something I wasn't going to quit on as well, but also something achievable. I remembered an old hobby of mine, which was making music, something I picked up on because my mom told me I needed something to do during the day. I wasn't bad at it, but I wasn't great either, and I knew this would be a nice project. It would show my growth from previous tracks, and it was also something I could actually do during the day, not just on my own time. I had to re-explain a majority of this when I conferenced with our new teacher, Mr. Daly, as Mr. Madden ended up retiring early. I began my new project right after winter break. I decided I was going to use BandLab to make a song. In the process, teach myself how to use the app and make something by myself. Using my friend Jack's BandLab Premium account, I began to work roughly halfway through the year on a project I was supposed to be working on throughout the entire year. I had some experience with the music style, as I used to use a different app to do something similar, but I had no experience with BandLab before. I started with tutorials to kind of understand the basics, and then I got to work. For the first time in what felt like forever, I was finally doing something in class. I enjoyed working on it, as it gave me something to do and was a good wake-up for me early in the morning. It was turning what I thought was boring into something that was way more enjoyable for me. The early days were a big struggle for me. I was only using different samples and putting them together, but it all sounded out of place and wasn't going anywhere. It also limited me to using other samples that fit the same vibe, which were very hard to come by. It felt like putting the wrong puzzle pieces together and trying to make it work. It stayed like this for a little while until I learned about MIDI virtual instruments, which allowed me to pick and choose the individual instrument that got played, as well as their specific notes and tunes. It made the work 100 times easier, and I really took off here. I also started seeing some of the effects the project was having on me. I was able to think more clearly on days that I worked on it, and when I listened to music on my own time, I began to notice different aspects of the song that I hadn't picked up on previously, because I wasn't as experienced in songmaking than I was before. Most importantly, I was also able to accomplish much more during the day. My perspective about completing work was really shifting as a result of the project. Exhibition night came by faster than expected. I didn't realize how much time actually went into making a good sounding song, and I was very quickly running out of time to complete my project, so I began to work much more outside of class in order to get something that sounded alright. I ended up finishing the project late on the night before, and I felt so proud of myself at the time. The feeling didn't last long, however, as the night came and went, and I ultimately didn't have enough on my table, and ended up having to redo it during lunch in the following weeks. where I had to figure out on my own what I can improve on and what would make my work stand out compared to others. I barely ended up touching the song because I didn't really want to keep working on something that I considered done and put away. And it was also very difficult for me to look for things to add. The entire event made me come to the realization that making music was a lot harder than people give it credit for. It takes a lot of skill, effort, and understanding to piece together a good piece of music. It also made me understand that not all good things come easy, and I really had to put in the effort if I want to succeed at a lot of things in life. Bringing us back to the present, the project has impacted me much more than I would have ever imagined back in September. It was really more than just something that interested me or something I wanted to do, but never got around to doing. And for the longest time, I didn't realize that. My 50-second song has completely transformed how I listen and feel music, and changed my approach to completing work entirely. The biggest takeaway that I've learned, and that other people should follow, is that we all need to stop waiting for someone to tell us what to do, but instead go out there and do it ourselves. Thank you for listening.